finally, for this chapter, we're going to look here at enum types. And this is one of those places where in the moment, right now in 277, if you take this in Java 240, right there when you take it in 240, if you take this in, Python, right there when you take it in Python, it's not going to feel like a big deal. But what I'll tell you is enum types, and that's the reason we've got it here with structures, is because these are things that you as the developer define. And anytime you get to be able to do that, you get to create magical shorthand, not just for your code, but magical shorthand that refers back to something that you need as your organization. So here we've got an enum called day that is up on line number 7. So our days are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Great, right? If you're a business that's only open on weekdays, now I have something that refers to the days of the week. I have something that, with my enum, I have something that cannot be changed because these are constant. So I cannot change Monday to, garbage day, Friday to fun day, Wednesday to hump day. It don't work that way. Once we have these defined, they are constant. So that means over the course of my program, they are immutable. They cannot be changed. Not only that, the value of Monday, because it is much like an array, is 0. The element there is 0. Of Tuesday is 1. Of Wednesday is 2. And so on and so forth. So these are things that have instant, accessible, integer values, which is great because what uses integer values that most of you struggled with when we started back in 276? A case structure is a fantastic use of integer comparisons for selection, right? Not only that, we can do math with them. We can do comparisons with them because they have an integer value. So Monday is 0. Tuesday is 1. That means that Tuesday is greater than Monday. Monday, or let's say Friday, is greater than Wednesday. So this gives us instant availability for things like switch statements, easy comparisons, easy comparison operators, equals. If we were looking at Rock Valley, right? If we're looking at having an enum for, I'm going to call it grade. I know that's not a perfect enum word or a variable name for that. If we were have an enum for grade and we would say freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. I know there's problems with this example, but a freshman is less than a sophomore. A senior is greater than a sophomore. You can do that kind of comparison. Boom, 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 boom. It is verbal in that we use a variable name. So that speaks to the next developer in the chain. It is an integer also at the same time. And it is constant because you cannot change it over the course of your development. So what we've got here is we've got a simple void function right here on line number 10 for display day name, which is pretty lame, right? It's just going to display the name of the day, but the way we're going to pass that is here. You can see our void from lines 41 to 55. And what we're going to do is use this essentially to show how a numeric value can actually be used here, but it's really just a member of our enum there. So the other thing we'll show you here is we are using that enum inside of an array. This is a double array called sales, and we're going to iterate through it by iterating through our days. So here, inside of our for loop, workday equals Monday. Workday is a day, so it is a structure. So this is different than we have seen previously in our for loops, but notice how it's the same. We have used an integer to iterate through our for loops, in developments previous to this, and we have either defined that integer up here in main, count, or we have said int I equals 0. In this case, workday equals Monday. What did we say before that the value of Monday was? 0. So this is accomplishing the same thing. We are saying workday is less than or equal to Friday. So as we step through our enum types, we're using this as a measure for our counter. That's pretty great. So what we are saying here is the next thing that we can do is to iterate through and to let that for loop self-manage the iteration. What we are doing is we are static casting our workday as a day. So what we are saying there is day plus 1. So we're just adding 1, adding 1, adding 1. And at the end of that, we can't go past the end of our enum, so Friday. So once we have workday plus 1 gone past Friday, there are no further workdays, so we leave our for loop. So that is a pretty phenomenal way to get through that. Here, we are using workday as a parameter that we are passing to display day name so that we can just vomit out the day's name. So I'm just going to run this and we can see that. So enter sales for Monday. So case Monday. So we are passing workday over. We've got day D, so that's the local copy of our enum that we have passed over here. And we are using a simple switch statement. So each one of these cases is going to map back to our for loop that is using an enum type like an integer to be able to iterate through. This is fantastic design. This gives you a ton of shorthand that you can use inside of your developments. And the other thing I'll say is it's hard to ham fist these down into little developments like this that are 55 lines, 100 lines of code. I understand that. That's actually one of the reasons. I mean, I've seen this for class after class after class is students are like, so what? Please, please, please take my advice here. And just remember this for when, we see a big project down the line at the end of the semester. Please remember this when you are building an application in C++ or any of our other C++ derived languages. Because of the flexibility that this gives you, it is a phenomenal way to create neat magic shorthand for you as a developer on your projects, because it allows you to map a state, something that you need in your organization, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, done. So that is a variable that has names, that has ints, that has a switch statement that you can build right off of it immediately. It is fantastic, and you'll totally forget about it.